Hi, welcome back to another video. As you can see by the title, I use this strategy to make millions off of travel nurses. I've been hosting travel nurses for 2 years now, and over the course of that span, I've successfully surpassed $2 million in revenue. And there's actually an interesting stat out there. Travel nurses are making 42% more than stationary nurses across the world. These nurses are making great money to travel across the world and provide their services from hospital to hospital. And of course, they don't want to travel around with a TV and a couch everywhere. That's up to you and I to provide housing. And unfortunately, people will always be sick, so this industry isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's up to us to take advantage. In this video, I'm going to be covering what travel nursing is, the cost to get started, how to find tenants, closing the deal, and of course, the big profit review. Now let's get into the video. Now there's two ways that I'm hosting these travel nurses that are traveling from across the world. One way, I own these properties outright, and the other, I use a technique called rental arbitrage, but that's saved for another video. As mentioned, they're not trying to haul around a TV and a couch everywhere, so it's up to us to furnish these units and provide housing for these travel nurses. Some of the biggest positives that I've seen over the past 2 years from hosting these nurses is that they are some of the best tenants you can ask for. They're clean, they're quiet, they're working these 12-hour shifts, and they just want to come home to a nice quiet space with some Wi-Fi. They also pay on time, which is also a huge plus. That's not something that you always get from a landlord perspective if you're in real estate. So going the travel nursing route has been a huge breath of fresh air, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. When you're gearing up to host these travel nurses, before we do anything, we need to furnish the unit. I personally love Amazon, Wayfair, and Walmart. We're looking for high quality, low cost. At the end of the day, this is a business and we want to keep the overhead low while still delivering the best quality. These nurses are typically staying for 13 weeks at a time. So when you're thinking about furnishing these units, you need to think about everything that you would need if you were staying somewhere for 3 months to feel comfortable. That's a couch, a TV, a bed. Make sure it's a queen size. And you know what? Let's go ahead and comment down below everything you would need over a 3-month period to feel comfortable during your stay. Now that we've furnished the unit, now it's time to take the photos. All of our staging is in place and we're ready to list. There's no need to go out and outsource this. I promise your iPhone or Android works just fine. Now, of course, you want to probably throw a filter on it just to stand out amongst your competition, but there's no need to go out and hire a professional photographer. I promise your phone will work just fine. Now that the place is furnished, we've taken our photos, it's time to find our tenants. I use 3 different platforms to find all my tenants, and this is in no particular order. The first one being Facebook.com. Never underestimate the power of social media when it comes to marketing for your listing. You can type in groups like Midwest travel nurses, and all of these groups are going to pop up, and these are going to be travel nurses looking for housing in your area. The second being turbotenant.com. Think of TurboTenant like the one-stop shop for all things landlord related. You are 1 click away from blasting to 10 different platforms. It's a little different than the rest because typically these tenants are looking for year-long leases, but still very effective when it comes to housing. Lastly, but certainly not least, is FurnishFinder.com. Think of Furnish Finder like the matchmaker, and after the tenant reaches out to the host, or vice versa, too many things can be lost in translation when trying to message back and forth on the platform. Do your best to get their cell phone numbers immediately, get them on the phone, and finally close the deal. Once you have them on the phone, you want your listing to do the selling. Keep in mind, they probably already reached out to you, so they're already sold. Think of this like a car dealership. I promise I'm not going to go to a car dealership if I'm not interested in buying a car. It's the same way when it comes to housing. They're not going to reach out to you if they don't need housing. So your listing is already doing the talking and it's already probably sold them. So just relax and allow your listing to do the legwork. Once I get them on the phone, the first thing that I lead with is security. These travel nurses are typically traveling with 1 to 2 people tops. They want to make sure that they are in a secure environment at all times. Make sure that you cover any security measures that are taking place, whether it be a house or an apartment building, and also how safe the area is. This is extremely important to lead with, so definitely don't skip this step. I'm then going into any amenities that they may have access to during their stay. This can be a swimming pool, a fitness center, maybe a lounge that's in the apartment building. These are all things that will separate you from your competition, so make sure that you also relay this over the call. I'm then going into any attractions that they may have access to within a reasonable drive time. This could be a beach that's nearby. This could be an amusement park, maybe a zoo, restaurants. These are all things that they may not have been aware of prior to this call, so be sure to relay this while on the call. I'm then going into any fees that will be associated during their stay. This will be maintenance fees, cleaning fees, parking fees. These things are expected amongst travel nurses, so definitely be sure to add these and don't leave them out. To wrap up the call, I'm telling the tenant how it is that I collect payments and also how it is that they finally come on board. For me, I require first month rent along with the security deposit. That security deposit is refundable as long as there's no damage done to the property. And as far as collecting payments, I use either Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App. These are the only platforms that I use, and I found that all travel nurses have one of these three platforms. I do occasionally accept credit card along with the 4.5% fee. I use the Square platform for that. There are some things to take note of when you're getting ready to start this business. Keep in mind, these nurses are staying 13 weeks at a time, which means you need to fill the vacancy once somebody is set to move out. So if somebody is set to move out on January 1st, somebody also needs to be set to move in on January 1st. The most expensive unit is the empty one, so these always need to be filled. Another thing to note is to make sure that you have a cleaning crew that's set and ready to go, especially if you have a 9 to 5 and you want to keep your job. That's great. I promise this can be passive, but you need to make sure that these systems are in place in order to do so. Your cleaning crew is the most vital part of this business. If the unit isn't clean, no one will tell the good word about you. These systems are imperative, especially as you continue to scale. With me, it's okay to clean if you only have one or two. You may not need a cleaning crew. When I first started, I was also cleaning because I think it's a good way to learn the ins and outs of the business. But now that I'm up to 30 of these, it's no longer even feasible for me to clean all throughout the year. Cleaning crews are important, so you need to make sure they're in place. One of the number one questions that I get from my mentees is, okay, I'm ready to go, so I need a property management company, right? The answer is no. I didn't even get a property managing company until I had 10 plus units. It's okay to manage them because keep in mind, they're easygoing tenants, they pay on time, they're typically clean, and so there's no need to hire a property management company that's going to cut into your profits anyway. Once you get to 10, 15 units, then it is time to hire. So how much does it actually cost to get started in this business? Keep in mind, my bread and butter are 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartments. Now, I do have some houses that are 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, but these numbers are based on one of those two. It typically costs me anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 to furnish. And of course, you already know where I buy the furniture because you've watched this whole video. In business, cost low, quality high. Same thing goes when buying furniture. Of course, we always save the juicy part for the end. How much am I actually making on a monthly basis? The answer is anywhere from $3,000 to $3,500 a month. That's not all profit. From a profit standpoint, I'm bringing in anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 per month per unit. That's after all expenses are paid. And when you times that by 30, that's how much I'm bringing in on a monthly basis. Now you can see why I'm telling you guys all about it. This is the best business to be in, and it's time to take advantage. If I was starting out and wanting to get into the real estate game, this is undoubtedly the route that I would go. It's quickly changed the trajectory for my family's life, financial future, and wealth building. There's no other place I'd rather be, and I'm excited for you to get started. Hey, look, if you found any value, be sure to subscribe and make sure you comment down below. This is exactly how you get out of the rat race and level up. I'll see you next week at another video.